Hey, so we are now live on multiple channels and we're still playing around with this. We've done lots of streaming on TikTok, but now we're streaming live on multiple channels. So we've got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X. So we're still learning the platform here. So if you're joining us and you have comments, you can throw them down there. Sometimes I can see those comments depending on where you're coming from, and I'll respond to those if I see them. But we're here at GrowMesh. I'm Nathan. We make vertical gardens. You can see these gardens behind me, gardens that you can use inside or outside. We'll walk around outside, see what we've got growing. We provide lettuce and basil in our garden kits. It's a complete setup. It's a complete system. There's no assembly. It already comes assembled. All you got to do is hang it up to start growing. But what I'm going to do is I'll show you all the components, I'll show you how to use it, and I'll talk to you about vertical growing and our products. And so we love these live broadcasts because it really allows us to interact with the customers. So we really like being able to do that. You get to see the gardens, you get to see how they work, and you get to ask questions. So uh, stay with me. We'll go out and we'll look at the gardens and see what we're growing, and I'll show you the garden kits and I'll show you how it works. So what you see behind me are our 16 plant gardens right here. And so these are growing lettuce. These are growing them inside. And I'll flip the camera around here in a minute. I'm actually demonstrating one side that's got light, one side that doesn't. You really see the difference in the garden when you've got light on it. If you're growing inside, you definitely got to have some supplemental lighting. Growing indoors, we always get the question of like, hey, I've got a nice sunny window. Is that going to be adequate enough to grow my garden? And it's not. You've got to have some type of lighting inside to grow those gardens. But what I'm gonna do is let me see if I can flip the camera around here and I'll show you the gardens right here. I'll show you what's in the garden kit. And so what we're looking at is the different gardens. And I just realized, let's see if this changes the, there we go. So camera 2, 0, yep. So this is some of the produce we grew in the garden here recently. But in the garden kit, you're going to get your plugs. You're going to get some seeds. And once you have the seeds, you put them in the plug. You mix this nutrient with a gallon of water. We like to mix it with this pitcher. We'll use the funnel, and then we top the gardens off. But this is how the garden comes. It's fully assembled. It's got a pump in there. This is the pump that comes with it. And you just hang that up. And what you're going to do is you hang it up, you add that nutrient to the garden, you plug the pump in, and then you plant the seed and you're growing. So it's that easy. We do have an 8 plant garden and we have a 4 plant garden as well. You can find all this on growmesh.com, but if you're on Facebook, we do have a couple of our gardens in the Facebook catalog, so you can check them out there. But everything is on growmesh.com, and you can check out the products on growmesh.com. If you want to add nutrient or you want to get packs of plugs, you can do that. So this is lettuce growing in a 16 plant garden. There's a 1.5 gallon reservoir on those 2 gardens there. This is a new product that we have. This is a skirt. You get to pull that up over the reservoir. So there's a reservoir under here, but this is a 16 plant garden right there. So let's go outside and we'll look at the gardens that we've got growing out front. And it looks like it's going to rain. It may be raining too. So just have to check that out. And I've got a garden over there I know that needs some nutrient. And so we may fill that up here in a second. But what I'm looking at here is a 16 plant garden growing flowers. So these are some begonias and some creeping jenny that is here. So definitely check that out. If you're joining me, see if you're on the stream. We are streaming from GrowMesh. These are our vertical gardens, and I'm just showing you just how those gardens work. Let me flip this around. Sometimes it's better when I can actually show everything. Let's see. So, yep, we're doing a simulcast. I was trying to flip the camera around. Let's see if I can do that again. The camera. And here we go. So we are now facing there. And I'm just checking that out. So if you have any questions, let me know. Throw them in the comments section. Flower garden. It's a 16 plant flower garden. And then behind it is our standalone garden. We just have entered or made that product. And now that is available in the shop. We've got lots of tomatoes growing behind me. We've got some squash and peas, some sweet peas growing also behind me here. And in our garden kits, we include lettuce and basil. So this is the lettuce that you can grow in the garden. That's what's included in the garden kit. And then we also have this basil right here. That's a Thai basil. And we'll switch it back around because it's easier if it is facing this way. So there we go. So here's our strawberry garden. So you can see those beautiful strawberries on there. These were all started by seed. So you can start from seed, you can start from cuttings, and it's starting to rain on me. So I may have to go inside here in a little bit. But all these have been out here this past month. So in these, almost 95-degree temperatures during the day, 98-degree temperatures during the day. But this is our 16 plant garden here that is growing lettuce. That is the lettuce that's included in the garden kit. This is a habanero garden, and I'm getting soaking wet. I'm gonna move under the porch, and I'll show you the gardens right here. So you can see you can grow different types of plants. These were grown from cuttings, and what you do is you just put a cutting right in the pocket, and that allows you to start a cutting that way. You can also grow from bare root plants. So you can take a bare root plant, take a plant from the garden center and wash the soil off of that plant, and then you can drop it in one of the pockets. So this is a pocket. You just put that bare root plant right in the pocket. You wouldn't have any soil on the roots of that plant, but you put the bare root plant in the pocket and then it'll grow. These were actually started from plants that we got at the garden center. So they were bare root plants. These were also done the same way, but you can start from seed, you can start from cuttings, you can start from a bare root plant. These are our two types of gardens. We now have this standalone garden here that comes with the flower pot container, comes with a post. You do have to add the rocks to it. And then we have, this is a 16 plant flower garden, our new skirts that we've added to the garden. So what you can do is you just pull that skirt up over the existing reservoir, this right there. It's open on the bottom. And that allows you to still access the garden. You can have the cord hanging out the bottom, so it really gives it a nice look to it. But this is some creeping Jenny and some begonias that we've got growing. You can see our tomato garden, got lots of tomatoes growing on there. So thanks for the thumbs up. I'd love for you to comment too. I don't know if you can do that on Facebook, but we're growing lots of eggplant in our eggplant garden here. So that's doing really well. Lots of peppers. We've got some this jalapeno, nice jalapeno is going to ripen up. Got these bird's eye chili peppers there as well. And we also have, this is a big bell pepper garden. So growing some bell peppers. Probably have right now about 10 to 12 bell pepper plants in this garden. Growing some really nice looking bell peppers. And then we also have some flower gardens. So if you want to grow flowers, you can do that as well. So you can see these marigolds that are growing, but definitely throw a comment down there if you like hydroponics, if you like gardening, If you're curious about how these work, there's no soil in this garden. It is just a sleeve full of root systems. You've got a reservoir on there. There's a pump that pumps nutrient all the way to the top. This is GrowMesh, and we are here at our shop and where we make the gardens. And we're doing the live streams. We've done lots of live streams on TikTok. We've actually done a good deal of streaming on TikTok, but we've started streaming now. We're actually right now simulcast on X, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, which is pretty cool, and YouTube. So you may be joining us from any of those. Some of those platforms you can make comments and I can respond to those. But yeah, so love to have you on the stream, and thanks for joining us. Share our stream with folks. Our goal is to get more people growing food so that you have access to the freshest food possible. And these are our consumer product. So you can check these out at growmesh.com, or you can check them out if you're on Facebook. You can check them out in the product catalog on Facebook. But all our garden kits are fully assembled, and they come with everything you need to start growing. And you can see, it's hard to see, but we've got a bunch of squash. Of course, it started pouring down rain as soon as I came outside to do the stream. Finally got it set up today to do this simulcast. But yeah, so you can see this is one we're really excited about. Just look at the vibrant colors on that garden. And it's totally standalone. So you can actually, when you get this, if you want a different flower pot, you can adapt this to a different flower pot, which is nice. So got about 3 gallons of water, nutrient solution in there. And it is using a post that delivers the water to the top. Whereas this garden, this has an internal drip line. It has what we call our shower head up here at the top. That delivers nutrient, and then it just starts flowing down and recirculating. So this garden has a reservoir just like that one, but this one has our what we're calling our skirt, and so you can dress it up. We have 5 different colors of those skirts. We come over here, you can see one of those skirts. So this is our bamboo skirt. This is the terracotta skirt. And then we've got a couple down here. That is, I think, our twigs. And this is our basket weave. And then we also have a rope weave. So that's also the twigs right there. So that's a twigs garden. But yeah, I'd love to know if you have any comments, if you like what you see, if you have any questions about the gardens, definitely throw them in the comments section. And we're getting some rain, so I'm under a porch, staying dry. We'll go inside, I'll do a stream there. But we are a small business. We make the product here in our shop. But this garden there, you see all that lettuce. That is the lettuce that's included in the garden kit. So that's where you'll actually get 4 types of lettuce seed in the garden kit. And then you'll be able to plant that in one of the plugs. And it's a really high quality lettuce seed, which grows really fast. So it's really amazing to check that out. But yeah, we've got some rain. Hard for me to show the gardens when it's pouring down rain out here. But we definitely needed the rain, so it's nice to have that rain. And so I'll just flip this back around, go back inside. But yeah, so this is GrowMesh, and I am Nathan. And we are showing you about vertical garden, hydroponic systems. And so we should be streaming on multiple channels here. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Some of the platforms you can't actually throw comments down in the comments section, but some of the other ones you can. So let's raise this up a little bit. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I'll talk through the product. We'd love for you to share the stream. Give us a follow. If you know folks who like growing plants or like hydroponics, definitely let them know what we have. So we look over here, what we're looking at. This is the actual garden. This is how it comes to you. It is fully assembled. It's wrapped up. We ship it to you in a bag like this. So the garden's actually in here. It's got your seeds and plugs. I'll show you that. So you actually get these plugs. You get enough plugs to plant your garden like this. you'll see the plugs that come in a little bag. You get about 18 plugs. What you're going to do is you take a plug and you put one of the seeds that we provide. So we provide lettuce and basil seed. You drop one of those in there. It's really easy to plant. When you do that, when you plant your garden, and I'll show you here, we've got one hanging up. So if we look right over here, we have a garden hanging up. If I take a seed, put it in there, I'm going to put my finger over the top of it, and then I just drop it down into one of the pockets. And it's that easy to plant the garden. Now, what you're going to do is you're also going to mix some nutrient with some water. So we provide 10 nutrient packs, and they're pre-measured for a gallon of water. So you open this up, mix it with a gallon of water, get you a jug, shake it up, and then you're just going to add that water to the reservoir. I'll show you how we do it. We like to use a funnel and a pitcher, but we also can use a jug. Any kind of jug will work. You just throw it in there, and then you top off the garden just like that. So it's really easy to top the gardens off and maintain them. You're going to see them grow. You just got to make sure you got plenty of light. Because one of the problems we'll have is you got to make sure that if you're indoors, you're using supplemental lighting. If you're outside, that you've got plenty of light for the plants you're growing. You can grow lettuce, you can grow basil, you can grow all types of herbs. You want to grow peppers, you want to grow eggplant, you can do that. They all just have a little different requirement from sunlight and also from a nutrient perspective. We'll go back outside here in a minute too, maybe the rain will stop, and I can show you the plants from the front. We've got a really pretty lettuce garden growing out there right now. Got lots of peppers growing, got some eggplants growing, lots of tomatoes growing, and we started some new sweet peas, which will be nice to see those form and grow. And we've still got to move them and trellis them, but we do have those actually growing outside as well. But what you see behind me is our 16 plant gardens growing the lettuce. And if you can see, all the other types of stuff that we grow is right over here as well. So we've been growing these for several years. We actually have thousands of gardens out there in customers' hands. We also have some commercial sleeves. So if you're growing in a commercial operation, you can actually grow within one of our commercial sleeves. So what's nice about the gardens is the sleeve itself, it really reduces labor. It's really easy to maintain. In a commercial operation, you can grow one crop, swap out, grow another crop. We have one of our commercial growers growing kale, and Swiss chard, multiple types of crops in the garden here. Let's see if I can flip the camera around. A lot harder on this app to flip the camera around. Let's see here. So there we go. And so you can see here is a garden growing Swiss chard and some kale. And you can see they've been growing in those for quite some time. So they just harvest those leaves off. And they'll get about 8 months, maybe even longer for that crop in those sleeves. And there's no soil in the gardens. There's no substrate in here. It's really an aeroponic type of system. It has kind of a cross between aeroponics and nutrient film, and that's how that works. Now, if you're familiar with growing, one of the things you got to make sure you got plenty of light, and I use this as a good example. So you see how these you got a lot fuller plant on this side, but then if we go around to this side, you'll see this plant actually is trying to get to the light, and that's because there's just not enough. And so you can see this is what happens. I'll get some customers, they don't have the adequate lighting. If your plants are looking like this, you don't have adequate lighting. So you want to make sure that you got plenty of light, got some grow lights on your gardens to make sure that you get proper growth, or you can also have these outside. And so we'll go outside again and see those, see if it stopped raining. If you have any questions, just throw them down there in the comment section. This is our manufacturing facility. We do make the gardens here. We actually print all our graphics. We print these graphics here, and I will show you the other parts of the facility here in just a second. But let me go back outside and I will show you what we've got growing outside. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comment section down there. So yeah, it did finally stop raining. So that was a nice little storm. And so we're here, we're in Sawtee, which is in Georgia, North Georgia. And let's see here. So yeah, now it's looking good. Now we can show you the gardens. out here. So there we go. So you see the different gardens we've got growing. There is actually a 16 plant garden under there. We started out in the spring. I had that petunia growing. It actually was growing out of the ground in one of the cracks in the asphalt here. So I pulled it out and put it in the sleeve and started growing with it, which was pretty sweet. And so, but we started some habanero from seed, and you can see that is habanero plant is just taken over. There's also some basil in there, but you can see that's where that is actually the pocket that petunia is growing out of, and you can see it's kind of it's growing all the way down here. But this is probably about 8 or 9 habanero plants that are growing in this garden. I mean, I swear it grows about 4 or 5 inches a day. It really has taken off, and they just have these beautiful peppers, and they're so camouflaged too. Ate a little on one of these earlier. So far, there's not much heat in them, but I know they're probably going to be pretty spicy once they get growing. You have any comments? Throw them down there in the comment section. But yeah, this is GrowMesh. These are hydroponic gardens. We make these here at our manufacturing facility. We do these live streams. Done lots of live streams on TikTok, but now we're able to stream on pretty much all the channels, which is pretty cool. We're using this new app. So we're streaming to X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I think Instagram, but and YouTube. So if you have comments, throw it down there in the comment section. These were started from cuttings. So you can see these were just tucked in the pockets. No soil in the garden. It is just a mesh. And so in that mesh and inner channel, you've got nutrient flowing in there. So that's how that is working. And you can just see how those thrive. We've got our 8 plant garden, so that's what this is. And then we've got a 16 plant garden. You can grow strawberries, you can grow flowers. This is our standalone garden. We're growing flowers in it. It comes with a reservoir. It comes with the nutrients. It comes with the sleeve. So you've got a whole growing system there. What we've got right here is our 16 plant vertical garden. And we've got our accessory skirt. This is the terracotta skirt that we've got growing on there. Let me go inside and I'll show you what the garden kit includes. So we go back inside. I can show you what's actually included in the garden kit. So come over here. You can see we've got, these are your plugs. This is a cocoa corn peat. This is where you're going to put your seed. So we look at that. There's a little divot there. And we're going to put our seed. This is actually the lettuce seed. This is the basil seed. But you just put that seed in that little pocket. That's going to go in the garden. This is how the garden comes. It's fully assembled. It's already wrapped up, ready to grow. This is some of the produce that I've already harvested from the gardens out front. Some of the peppers. But you get plugs. You get 10 nutrient packs. You get your seed. This is the pump that's included in the garden. And you get 10 of those nutrient packs. You just mix 1 nutrient pack with with some water, with a gallon of water. Use a funnel to fill up the garden and top it off. If you're looking, you're going to hang your garden up. You're going to add the nutrient. You're going to plug it in, and then you just plant the seed. You can use cuttings. You can use seed, or you can use berry plant. So this is how the pump hangs on the drip line. This drip line goes all the way up the center of the garden to the top. There's this little shower head up here that's spraying nutrient out, and then it's flowing back down, and then it's just recirculating. And so on the 8 plant garden, we've got a ½ gallon reservoir. That pump is hanging down here, and then it's just pumping that nutrient all the way back up. In the garden kits, you do get now one of these little hooks. So you get a nice little metal hook, makes it easy to hang the garden too. So also we've switched now, we have all stainless steel hardware. So when you get your garden kit, we do have those stainless steel hardware. We had some older gardens that were using steel, and so now we switched to that stainless steel so they don't corrode. So this is the lettuce that's included in the garden kits. This is a 16 pocket garden. Here again is another one of our skirts. just on our 16 plant garden. And here is where you see that plug in the pocket. There is no soil in these gardens. It is just a hydroponic system. Let's go out and I'll show you those gardens that are out front. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer those. Probably have a rainbow here in a minute. We always have after one of these nice rains, we get a nice rainbow out here. That's a beautiful sky. Check that out. So we live in a beautiful place. We're in North Georgia, and Saltina Coochie is the location. 16 plant garden with our terracotta skirt. We've got flowers on here. Listen to that thunder. Nice. This is our new standalone garden. This has a 3-gallon reservoir. You do have to add the rocks to it. Does still have a pump. It's pumping nutrient to the top and it's recirculating it. The ones we ship are actually a little taller. This was one of the first ones we made. So you actually get about another foot of growing space on those gardens. Here are some tomatoes that we're growing. So these are all grown in one of the gardens. This is our 5.5 gallon or 5-gallon reservoir. That's our 1.5 gallon reservoir. So same sleeve, just a larger reservoir to grow more plants. And you can see we've got to move this. This is getting overtaken. It's really too big. It grows so fast, it just takes off. This is some cutting celery. I've got too much. I don't even know what to do with. We're just going to have to, I think we may dry some of these. This is just a cutting celery. Look over here. We've got some mint. So we've got a mint garden. We've got our tomatoes. Still growing some of those nice tomatoes here. And some of those starting to ripen up. Oh, got one down there. One's actually fallen off. So ready to harvest or have that for lunch. This is some mint. These were grown by cuttings. You can see it's already filled that up. Really probably should trim this back to get a little better production off of it. And here are some eggplants that we're growing. So the eggplant's done really nice in the garden. You see already still got a few more blooms coming out up here. They have a beautiful bloom on them. Growing multiple types of peppers in this one garden. So you can see this beautiful red chili pepper here. We've got some bird's eye chili. We've got some up here that's ripening up. You can see those. Then we also have lots of bell peppers growing on the garden. So that is a bell pepper garden that you're looking at right here. That is another pepper garden, banana peppers, chili peppers, 2 types of chili peppers, squash, peas, tomatoes, mint, flowers. Had a beautiful sunflower garden. Some beautiful colors in the garden. So if you want to grow flowers instead of growing food, you definitely can do that. So you can see how they grow. These were actually purchased at the garden center. We washed the soil off of them and then put them in the pockets. So we wash all that soil off and we put them in the pocket, and you kind of see some of the mesh in there. So that is the mesh you see in that pocket right there. But yeah, so we've got some beautiful peppers in here. So let's just trying to show you some of these cool peppers we got growing in this garden. So you can check that out. But yeah, if you have any comments, throw them down there in the comments section. Thanks for joining our stream. If I don't see you, sometimes I can see folks come through the stream, sometimes I can't. So just check out our website, growmesh.com. If you're on Facebook, you should be able to see product in the Facebook account. We've now started to update our Facebook catalog. Didn't have access there for a little while, so we're now there, able to get on Facebook and start to update that. So marigolds are really starting to look pretty good. So one of the things is we get the comment of like, what can I grow in the garden? Can I grow, tomatoes and lettuce and peppers all in one garden? Well, you can see it is still gardening, and it all depends on the type of plants. So this is habanero, and they are just taking over. this 116 plant garden. We actually had planted some basil in here. We planted some flowers in here. But I'll tell you, the habaneros, it took a little while for these guys to get going. But once they did, they have taken off. But we did have some other plants growing in there. So while they kind of started going, we were able to enjoy some flowers, but also get some herbs out of that garden. Here is lettuce. This is a lettuce garden. So you can see that lettuce growing in there. This is the type of lettuce that we include in the garden kits. So you can see all that beautiful lettuce growing. This is a 16 plant garden. That's a 1.5 gallon reservoir. There is the pump pumping that nutrient all the way to the top. That's how that garden is working. That's how all these are working. No soil in any of these. No soil at all. This is basil. These are two types of Thai basil. This basil is very licorice type of smell to it and taste. But yeah, so this is still doing pretty well because of the heat. Got a little bit deficiency right there because of the heat we got going on out here. Been pretty hot lately. This is a giant pumpkin. That seed was about 10 years old. I'd purchased that to try to grow some of these giant pumpkins. We've got some other seeds in here, and I believe they were sprouting. So yeah, I do see that seed sprouting in there. This is a test sleeve, so we'll have this larger sleeve that we can grow larger plants in. We grew some sunflowers earlier. They just get a very large root system, and so what we're experimenting with this, so we'll have a larger sleeve to be able to grow larger plants. But come over here too, I'm going to show you. So we look at this, and here's some strawberries. This is honestly one of my favorite. We grew these from seed this spring, and they've done really well. So we'll definitely be growing more of these. I want to do an entire wall. Got a nice brick wall over here. I think we'll cover with strawberries. Experimenting with some onions. We're going to see. I've done this before. I know we've run into some problems, but we're going to play around with that and see how that works. Figure out how we can actually start growing some onions. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at that. That's a giant pumpkin we're growing in this vertical garden, starting to sprout. You see those leaves in there starting to come out of there. So that's pretty exciting. We can't wait to see how that goes. And that'll be massive. We'll try to kind of keep some ideas on how much water we're using too with those gardens. But this is, look at that lettuce. How gorgeous is that? Man, that lettuce looks nice. But these are the seeds you get. This really doesn't take hardly any time to grow in the vertical hydroponic garden. Check them out. Check these out on our profile. Any of the channels, just check out GrowMesh. Search for GrowMesh, growmesh.com. We've got our product on there. This is a $59 garden. You add the $12 skirt to that, but that $59 garden comes with everything that you need to start growing. So it comes with the sleeve, comes with a pump, comes with a reservoir, comes with 10 nutrient packs, comes with lettuce seed and basil seed. It comes with the plugs. So you get everything to start growing. So if you wanted to try hydroponics, it's really easy to do. All you got to do is you open the package up, hang the garden up. It's already assembled. Just find you somewhere to hang it up. We actually have some of these hooks like this in some of these hooks are those hooks in our shop. So you can check those out. That's one way you can hang them. You can see I've also got this one hung up, just wrapped around. I wanted to give this one a little higher. Wanted it to be up a little higher, and I like that. This makes me want to make a longer sleeve. So we probably could make that sleeve about maybe another 2 feet in length. So we could make an extension if you wanted to do that. So we may wind up doing that. That would be something we could do. So we'd have a little bit longer sleeve on there. This one we got to move. It's just too big right here. Got lots of squash right here, so we definitely need to move that. This is some cutting celery. We really probably just need to harvest a bunch of this. It's almost overgrown. Been growing that since early spring. And then if we come around here, you'll be able to see we've got some sweet peppers over there. We've got hot peppers, multiple hot peppers. We've got different peppers there. And we've got some eggplant, we've got some mint, we've got tomatoes, we've got squash and peas and cutting celery. And then what comes in the garden kit is the lettuce. Look at this lettuce garden. That's the type of lettuce that you get in your garden kit right here. You also get some basil. So you get two types of basil in your garden kit. But if you want to plant strawberries, or you plant the giant morning glory, or you want to plant some habanero peppers, you can do that. These are some marigolds that we planted, and we planted these from some flowers we got at the garden center. So those guys are looking really nice. You can see all these beautiful little habanero peppers that are growing in there. This garden is just taken over. Yeah, one of the things you can do is you can plant from cuttings, you can plant from seeds, or you can plant from bare root plants. So if you get plants at the garden center, you can wash the roots off, and that's one way that you can actually plant in the garden. So definitely, if you can take cuttings. So if you have tomato plant or basil plant, something that does really well with cuttings. These were actually from cuttings. Here's another little cutting that's been in there that's starting to root. And this one's taking a little longer, but it's definitely starting to grow. So it's always fun to see a plant take off from cuttings. You just take a cutting, you toss it in the pocket, and then you get another plant. So it makes it really easy. That pump is down here pumping nutrient to the top, just recirculating, and that's what it's doing. So it's really easy hydroponic system, not hard at all to use. So if you have questions, throw them in the comment section. This is GrowMesh, and I am Nathan. I created this so more people could grow food at home and grow flowers. If you love plants, this is a great way to grow some plants. Great addition to your garden. So if you already love gardening and you want another little way to garden, you want to grow something a little different, get you a GrowMesh sleeve, get you a garden system, and start growing. So you can see they grow plants really well. You just add nutrient to your garden. And if you want to grow eggplant, you'll just see these beautiful eggplant growing here. Lots of eggplant growing in this garden. Lots of peppers growing in the garden systems. Some jalapeno peppers. So we've got some bell peppers growing in our gardens. And check out those bell peppers right there. Got a little bell pepper growing. Flowers. And we do have these skirts now. They do make a nice addition to the garden. So definitely check out one of those skirts. Check everything out. What we've got growing is basil. We've planted some squash. There's actually some tomatoes in here too, I think. So yeah, there we go. There's a tomato. I think these are like a cherry tomato. So we get a little bit of everything growing. Some of it's going to work. Some will get overcrowded, but it's fun to try new stuff. Fun to check them out and see what we can get to grow. If you're joining me, this is GrowMesh. I'm Nathan, and these are our vertical gardens. I created this so that you could grow food at home. You could grow a good amount of food very easily. So I was trying to flip the camera around, show you who I am. Love for you to make a comment down there in the comment section. If you have any questions about the gardens, if I know you, if I don't know you, give us a follow. So you can see the gardens growing behind me. All these are growing in our 16 plant garden. They're complete hydroponic systems. There's no soil in these at all. It's just a nutrient solution that is pumped from the reservoir. So each one of those bags, let's see if I can get each one, there's a bag hanging from the bottom of the gardens, and that there's a pump in there and it's pumping nutrient to the top. I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll go inside to our live studio. I've got some gardens growing inside. I can show you the gardens in there. I can show you the lettuce that's growing. We've just introduced another garden that I'll show behind me. This is our standalone garden right here. So that is, you don't have to hang it like you do this garden. So this is our 16 plant garden. This is our most popular. It's $59. This is our standalone garden. And that one now is $250, but you don't, if you don't have to worry about hanging that garden up. So let's go inside, check out everything that's happening in here. So we actually manufacture these here. You can see behind me, that's some of our manufacturing process. We have the printers. We actually print all our graphics. We take in raw material, turn them into these gardens. Pretty much the only thing we source is the pump. We do source nutrient and plugs and seeds. We've got some really reputable suppliers here in the U.S. for those products. So we get our plugs out in California. International Horticulture makes our plugs. I'll show you those. These are a really high quality cocoa coir and peat. This is where you're gonna put your seed right in there, and then you're gonna drop that plug in the garden. Just drop it in a little pocket right here, just like that, and that's how you plant it. The sleeve itself is a high density polyethylene. It's a really strong film that is multi-layered. There's a mesh on the inside. Let me grab a sample sleeve that I have, and I can show you how that works. So on the inside of the sleeve, you have a mesh, and in that mesh is how the roots grow and lock themselves, locks the plant. So there's the mesh. And so what happens is the roots grow through that mesh to the inside of the sleeve like this. So they're going in there. Get a really large root system. When you have large roots, you get large plants. We're always coating those roots with a nutrient solution. So we've got a really nice mix of nutrients, all the micro and macronutrients the plants need. And if you've got that sunlight, then the plants are going to do really well. What you got behind me is I'm growing some lettuce inside. We do include lettuce and basil to get you started. It's just a really easy way to start growing. You start with that lettuce, you'll be growing in a hydroponic system within just a few minutes of getting your garden. It's already assembled. You don't have to put anything together. There's nothing, really zero assembly. You just open it up. It's ready to hang up. You add that nutrient, you add the seeds, you plug it in, and you're growing within 5 minutes. And so the sun's starting to come out. It'll be actually really pretty out here in a second. We may go back outside, but let me show you everything that's included in here. So what we're looking at over here, this is how I like to mix our nutrient and feed the gardens. Put one packet of nutrient and a pitcher of water, a gallon of water. This is the nutrient packs you get. So you get 10 nutrient packs. When you get those nutrient packs, just mix one of those with a gallon of water. Add that to the reservoir. You get seeds. You get lettuce and basil seeds. So you get different types of seed. If you have a special request, you can message me. I may have some seed. If you have some type, I do have some tomato. I have some pepper. So if there's something you'd like specifically, you can always message me and see if I've got it. So the pump that is included in the garden kit is just like this, really high quality pump. This is how the drip line is attached. That collar just threads on, locks the drip line in place. This is actually hanging, so it's not sitting on the ground, it's hanging from the drip line. So that's how that works. This is the garden itself. So this is how you receive the garden. It's already wrapped up. It's ready to go. So you're just going to open the garden up. We do now include this nice metal hook. So it gives you something to hang it with. You just put that in the grommet, hang it up. And as you can see right over here, I've got several of them hanging up. You just hang your garden up just like this. You are going to plug it in. You're going to add the nutrient to it. So you take your funnel, drop it in the side, add the nutrient, then you plug the garden in. Put your seeds, or if you've got some plants or some cuttings, that you just add those to the garden. Make sure you're in a well-lit area, and then you start growing. So let's go back outside and look at the plants outside again. So I always like to do that, especially now the sun's out. I bet you there's a nice rainbow out there over the mountains. We're in a beautiful area of the country. We're in North Georgia. And we're in an area called Salty Nakuchi. And yeah, still a little bit of rain over there, but the sun is coming out. So what you see behind me are our hydroponic gardens. If you have any comments, throw them in the comments section. Love to answer questions. Love to know where you're from. If you've got any hydroponic experience, I'd love to hear about that. If you're growing, if you're a sustainable farmer, if you're any kind of farmer, love to hear your thoughts on what's going on with the food system, where you see problems in growing right now, improvements, what you're excited about, any new technology. I'd love to know if you've got any new technology or any new methods that you've been seeing work. So love to hear about that. But if you're a consumer, we'd also love for you to check out our garden. So this is a consumer product, but it also is a commercial product. So we do have a commercial product. And but you can see we've got lots of stuff growing behind me. We've got different types of lettuce. We've got different types of tomatoes. Trying to using this new setup is a little different. We've done lots of streaming on TikTok, and it just sets up the camera different. I don't know why. It's kind of crooked on here, which is interesting. I feel like it's crooked. So that is, here we are, and you can see our gardens right behind me. This is the lettuce that's included in the garden kit. So, within about growing this outside about 30 days, you're going to see a lettuce garden look just like this. No soil in these. It's a vertical hydroponic garden, uses a method which is similar to aeroponics and then a method similar to nutrient film. Kind of takes those two methods and we combine them together and we get a system that works really well, really easy to use. We try to do away with all the kind of problems that you can have in a hydroponic system. If you get clogs or you get leaks, our gardens are really good about resolving those major issues that are typically associated with hydroponic growing. So this is our 16 plant garden that we've got behind me. And then if I rotate around here, see if I can show it to you. This is our new standalone garden. So it comes with a flower pot and it has a post that's delivering the nutrient all the way up the center of the sleeve. And then that nutrient still being recirculating. These are recirculating hydroponic gardens. So that's how they work. That nutrient is always coating the roots. It's getting aerated as that water flows over the root system, is pumped up, and then drip back down over the gardens. Let's flip these around. I want to show you some of the stuff that we've got going on. Got some pretty neat experiments happening. That's always fun to do. These are some onions. So we're playing around with these. I know, once those onions get really big, we've already had some, we've done this once, so we're going to play around with it again, just see what happens. We've got some cherry tomatoes growing in here. So we'll be growing those. And this is a giant pumpkin. So that is a giant pumpkin seed that is starting to sprout. See if we can get that so it's in focus. Yeah, so we've got that giant pumpkin growing. That's what this double sleeve's about, is about giving plenty of root system for that pumpkin. We actually have 4 in here, so we'll probably just keep it to 2. We've got 2 varieties, 1 variety on each side. So yeah, this is just to get it started. That reservoir will go away. We'll use a lot larger reservoir with an automatic top-off system. But yeah, we're just playing with this double sleeve, figuring out the best way to make it, figuring out the best way to attach it to the reservoirs, but definitely want to make it modular. But the idea with this is that it'll grow really large plants. But yeah, check out the beautiful lettuce. Some gorgeous lettuce growing right here. This is in the GrowMesh vertical garden. Had a customer come in the other day. They're from Florida, and he was just having trouble growing basil. And I was just thinking, that is not a problem we have. We can grow basil. Zero problem growing basil. A lot of times we'll grow it from cuttings. Those are from seed. That is what we do include, that basil seed in the garden kits. But yeah, one of the things, we grow tomatoes. Get some of these suckers off of here. We need to start our tomatoes. I'll show you in a minute. The ones we've had growing all spring are actually quite large. We need to start trimming on those some. But yeah, some beautiful lettuce here. This seed is about 10 years old. So yeah, so pretty old seed, but it is still starting to grow. So you got that vine starting to come out of there. Be interesting to see the taproot. happening there. That's going to be wild to see that. See if we can get successful with that. Got these marigolds. These were actually planted from uh, some bare root plants, so that we tucked in there. But yeah, check out the gardens. So habanero plant. There is a 16 plant garden under there. So that is one hanging vertical garden growing all that plant. And we probably should have, but we have not done anything to trellis this. Those are growing straight out of the sleeve, but we probably need to start trellising it. It is starting to use some nutrient. It's getting quite large. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can grow in these gardens. So, but you don't have to grow food. You can also grow flowers and other ornamental plants that you like. So you can always do different types of plants in the gardens. But the peppers do amazing in the gardens. Just had a nice summer rain. Everything's nice and wet, really fresh. But yeah, you can see right here all these. So I believe these are habanero. One of the things we got to do is we got to create some labels to put on the gardens. We always forget to label everything. But yeah, this is the sweet basil. It's really taken over by the um, really gotten kind of taken over by the habanero garden. But yeah, it's really good. Nice. Always like to wrap a tomato. Well, especially I don't have any cherry tomatoes growing right now. Always like to wrap one of the cherry tomatoes in there around around a little piece of basil. So yeah, very good. Yeah, I think these are Better Boy. This is a variety we got here. Some creeping Jenny growing, but yeah, some beautiful, beautiful tomatoes growing in the garden. We're in North Georgia, Sawtee. So this is a nice change in weather from the hot days. So this has been nice. That eggplant's doing really well. Need to maybe change some of the nutrient on that. What we suggest when you're growing with these is about every month to change out the nutrient. You can flush the gardens at that point too if you want, just to make sure that you've got everything reset and optimal nutrient levels. But yeah, you can see these gardens. See how they grow? So you are here at GrowMesh, and these are our vertical hydroponic gardens. You can see these peppers in there. All these beautiful peppers growing. But that is the reservoir. There's a pump in the reservoirs, and it is pumping nutrient all the way to the top of the garden. And it's just that nutrient is just being recirculated. So gravity brings it back down, and it's just being recirculated back to the reservoir. And I'm ready to eat this strawberry. So yeah, let's go back inside. Got a few more minutes on the live stream. So if you haven't been with us before, we just started streaming on, we're using a platform that allows us to stream to all the channels at one time. This is all the peppers that I harvested just the other day. Got this tomato. Need to eat that too. Need to make a tomato sandwich. These are super sweet. They are like candy. Those peppers are. In the garden kit, you get these plugs, you get the nutrient, you get the seed, right? All comes in the little accessory pack. This is the pump that's included. It's already ready to go. If you want to grow peppers, if you want to grow tomatoes, you can do that. This was a squash garden that we grew. This is our commercial sleeve. So if you want to grow Swiss chard, you can grow Swiss chard. Different types of tomatoes, basil, herbs, lettuce, greens, Asian greens, kale. Really just a matter, it's a matter of how much effort you want to put in. Some things are easier than others. Some are more practical than others. There's one we grew last year. So flowers do really well in the gardens. It's fun to grow flowers in there. This is a system that is an outdoor garden using one of our commercial sleeve. This is an older system that was built by somebody local to start growing. They've been growing it for multiple years. But yeah, so hydroponic gardens here at GrowMesh. And turning this back around. So yeah, I'm Nathan, and we're here at GrowMesh, and these are hydroponic gardens. Any questions? Throw them in the comment section. I'm not sure if I can tell where you're streaming from unless you make a comment down there or watching from. So if you have any questions about hydroponics, about growing in general, about how we make this, about how it works, definitely throw them down there in the comment section. I'm glad to answer those for you. We're going to be doing these streams more, simulcasting on all the different channels. And the way I look at this is like me being in the shop, being in a retail store. Somebody walks by, they see the stream, they get to walk in, look around, they get to ask questions. That's how I look at these live streams. I think it's great, but I get to reach everybody anywhere in the world, really. Done lots of these on TikTok, so now we're able to do these on all the other channels too. So if you have any questions, just throw them in the comment section, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. Give us a follow. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. You can ask questions. You always direct message us there. You can check out the product on growmesh.com. We do have a catalog now on Facebook as well, which will also be on Instagram. So you can find it on any of those spots, and we're glad to help you out. We do have what we call our green thumb guarantee. If you ever have any issues with a product, we're glad to replace it, fix it, or we'll even refund you if it's something that needs to happen. So we stand by the products, we make it here. Our goal is to get more people growing food. We want you to be growing in your local area. We want you to feed yourself. We want you to feed your friends. We want you to feed your family. We want you to feed your community. So that's our goal. We want fresh food for everyone. And you can see, you can do that in the gardens. We make it easy. You don't need any weeding. You don't need to be tilling any gardens. You really don't need a lot of space. You can do this inside. You can do this on a patio. You can do this on a balcony. You just need to have somewhere you can hang the garden. Or with our new gardens, if you look in our shop, we do have a freestanding garden. You don't even need that. Basically, just need about a 4 square foot area to place a garden and start growing. And you, within 15 to 20 days, you're going to see lettuce growing on your garden. You'll be amazed by that and be able to start sharing that with your friends and family. If you want to grow lettuce, if you want to grow kale, lots of people like to grow tomatoes. One of their favorite things, these sweet peppers. These are delicious. This is definitely going to be a staple, something that we plant and grow a lot more of. Maybe start growing these commercially. These are delicious. These are wonderful, sweet, easy to grow in the gardens. Peppers love the gardens. They just are prolific in the garden. So if you haven't been with us, this is GrowMesh. These are our hydroponic gardens. We make these here in our shop in North Georgia. It's fully assembled in our garden kit. You can see the gardens growing behind me. Check out our profiles. You'll see everything else growing that we've got. We've got multiple gardens outside. Let's see, I'll turn the camera. So all those out there are vertical gardens. We actually have eggplant, we've got pepper, we've got mint, we've got some flower gardens out there. Ask questions if you have any questions. We make these gardens, they do not use soil. They only use a hydroponic solution that's included in the garden kit here. We include plugs, we include nutrients, we include seed. The completely assembled garden kit, which is this. This is our 16 plant garden here. It weighs literally about 2.5 pounds. It ships less than 3 pounds. So you got everything you need to start growing. You just add the nutrient, you plug it in, and you're growing within 5 minutes. Make sure you got plenty of light. If you're growing indoors, you need to make sure you got supplemental lighting. If you're growing outside, just want to make sure that you got plenty of lighting to grow outdoors as well. Really easy to use, just a matter of finding a place to hang it up. We do have hooks and hangers in our shop too. So if you need that, we do have these nice 12-inch hangers that you can attach to a wall or a post or fence, and you can start growing that way. So check that out at growmesh.com. Check it out on TikTok, or even check it out on the Facebook marketplace or the Facebook catalog that we have online. So definitely check that out. Join us for our next stream. We're going to do these multiple times a day. Probably going to be streaming live on TikTok here. Maybe give myself about an hour break. Then I'll start streaming live on TikTok, and then we do another one of these. But check out our product. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you on the next live stream.